Hi, we're ready for another Dan show. Dan dressed up for the occasion today.
Oh, come on, Kylie. I just said I'm wearing jeans. I don't like it, but thanks for calling it out.
I just wanted to, diffuse it right out of the gate. But all joking aside, it is an incredibly busy time for you. I know that you're on your phone, you're in meetings, and you are processing information all the time.
24/7, right?
Yeah.
It's awesome. Never been busier, never had more fun, so I'm loving it.
So the purpose of today's Dan Show is just to once again touch base with all of you. We know that there are a lot of questions, and we will provide as many answers to those questions as we possibly can. Unfortunately, going through a public listing process is rather complicated. That's why not a lot of companies are able to achieve it.
It's like the worst homework assignment times 1,000 that you've ever done, and that might get you close. But,
Yeah.
But I wish we could have a magic wand and reach everybody, just, blanket every investor, because I know whenever we do these, we're always missing. Some of you are not getting these, so I know we could ask the same questions time and again, and that's why we kind of keep coming out with redundant information. We just want to make sure we're getting to everyone.
Yeah. So a big question that we've had since the announcement of the reverse split is why?
Yeah, want to address that really very importantly. The price we come to market at is not an arbitrary number. I mean, the Nasdaq and the Security Exchange Commission have different, milestones that they want to see your pricing come at, and it's not just throwing a dart, and saying, hey, let's go at $20 a share just for the fun of it, right? There has to be a story that depicts why that valuation is what it should be. In our case, the way that we're going public is through a direct public offering. It's called a DPO. Nasdaq has an $8 minimum threshold on that. So you say, okay, just come at $8. The reality is there's a lot of reasons why we're not just coming at 8. If we did an IPO, which is an initial public offering, the threshold is $4. If we did a SPAC, the threshold is $10. So a DPO is $8. But there's we want to get a ton of institutional investors, pension fund investors, and just market perception. And the charters on a lot of these funds are that they have to invest in things that are $10 or higher, a minimum of $10. So it just makes sense not to exclude a huge market opportunity for all of us. So that's why $13 is a good number. We're doing a 1-for-4 reverse split. Our shares right now are $3.25 each. Times that by 4, that's 13. It's equivalent, kind of roundly or loosely, of saying, hey, I got a $100 bill. Can I buy your 520s? It's not changing anything. I know you're gonna have less shares, and I know people like the idea of having a bunch of shares, but it's exact same value. And I would argue that the share opportunity to increase is greater at $13 than it is at $3.25, which is a non-starter. We couldn't come at $3.25 right now anyway. So, and just to kind of stress that, we can't say, okay, we're at $3.25 right now, let's just make it $8. You just can't do that. There has to be intrinsic value built in, a pricing strategy of how you get to that number, and that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it.
So there are only positives from Arrive AI's vantage point to get to the Nasdaq. It provides liquidity, and this is the way to achieve that. Without it, we couldn't.
Totally. And we've been talking about this for a long time. Everybody knows that. I don't need to say that again. But the reality is we're not the only ones determining the course here. We're working with the SEC, Security Exchange Commission, the Nasdaq, lawyers, auditors, investment bankers, everybody in the world. It's a big deal, and we're moving at the speed of everybody else. When we get something, we turn it around like that. The comment period for what's called an S1 document with the SEC, it's a 200 plus page document. It's very onerous, very intrusive. It's everything about this company, and it's very thorough. And so, again, that speaks to the way that this works. You don't just say, hey, I want to be on the Nasdaq. I want to be on New York. I want to go public. You have to have a story to tell. It has to line up and make sense and really check all the boxes for every compliance issue that's out there. And that's what we're doing. So as they read the 200 plus page document, questions come about. They come back to us and say, hey, can you expound on this? And then we do that and we send that back, and then, okay, well, what about this? What about that? It's really vetting, and it really, for people to have confidence in public markets, this is what the process has to look like. You can't just have a bunch of, fly-by-night companies up there trading publicly, picking numbers that they want to trade at, all those things. And at the end of the day, that's going to be great for us. So what else you got?
Yeah, so I know another question that we get frequently is, where are my shares? I can't find my shares. What do I do with them once we're public? Maybe you've invested under multiple campaigns that we had. We are going to have all of those answers for you, and we have a little bit of the answer
Sure.
now. We're just waiting for when we can pull that trigger.
Right. If you've invested with us, whether it was direct, through WeFunder, Start Engine, or Pick Me, we know who you are. We've got your shares. Be confident. The other thing I would say is we are going to come to each of you before we go public, and you'll have your shares. You'll know where they're housed. They're going to be having a QSIP number, which is it's a tracking number from the SEC that every share has to have before it can be publicly traded. Now the thing is, we're not able to publicly trade just yet. As we get closer, that's a key step that we're going to be going through. But that's one of the last things that will happen. These shares will get assigned that number. For right now, we don't have a QSIP number on any of the shares. None of the shares are registered at this point. So that will be the very last thing. It'll be a great thing when you see us come to you and say, hey, here's your shares, all that. You're going to know that we're getting really close.
Yeah, and they will come from the transfer agent. So that has all of your information there. So we will have drafted communications from Arrive and through the transfer agent itself.
Yep. The transfer agent already has everybody's information. It's all teed up. Our whole cap table is with our transfer agent that works with publicly traded companies every day. So it's getting there. It's getting really close. I know everybody's anxious. One thing I want to say is I don't want anybody to think that because it's taken longer than we thought that this is any thing to do with backing up on our promise. We have been dead set since day one of getting to be a publicly traded company, giving everybody liquidity. Only 0.3% of crowdfunded companies ever go public. So it's like an ultra rare minority, and we're proud to be in that ultra rare minority. And I'm just saying, give us a chance. We're getting there, right? I see, I get a lot of calls, a lot of texts, emails. I see it in chats, all that. We try to be as responsive to everyone as we can be, right? And that's why we're proactively putting this out. The other thing I want to say is, I want to say this delicately. Sometimes people suggest things that, I appreciate every suggestion and all that, but sometimes if you invested in a company and the CEO hadn't thought of some of this stuff and you're suggesting it, you'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean we've thought of everything. I want you to know that, but there are some things that were the very first things that we've thought of. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, but I want everyone to know that, we've got a great team here. We're pulling everything together. We're drawing on a lot of expertise beyond our team, actually, professionals in the financial industry and so forth. And if you have a great idea and you don't think we've thought of it, bring it on, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that a lot of the ideas too are things that eventually we really do want to get to, but we're trying to start off in the strongest way possible. So where is our value? Like, where is our greatest value? And how do we achieve that in the most responsible way?
Absolutely.
And so I think that is where, as a CEO, I've been very impressed with Dan and his openness to love his idea that you first had in the very beginning, but also to be able to transition that a little bit to see what the climate is, to see what's landing, what's actually working.
Sure.
And then focusing on that pipeline.
Hey, kind of to sum up what Kylie just said, when you think you know everything, that's when you know you don't. And so I don't want what I just said to come across as we're know-it-alls. You got to be open to change
absolutely.
and all that, and that's what we are. But there's a lot of things that we're doing, and I just don't want anybody to think that we're not exhausting everything. It's really important you guys know that.
Yeah. And I also want to say, because I don't know if Dan will, but his transparency is almost to a fault, to where he's transparent with all of us here at Arrive. You keep us all in the loop. There's really nothing that I ever feel like you keep from anyone. And so he does give all kinds of information, details to keep people updated, knowing that sometimes that could change and we will have to provide another update. So I can tell you that there's never a thing that comes out of his mouth that he doesn't stand by or that he doesn't firmly believe in.
Thank you, Kylie. Thanks a lot.
Well,
Really
also
appreciate
knowing
that.
that information could change, which I think what I'm getting at is
I hear you.
the public listing date.
That's great. I appreciate you saying all those kind of things. Thank you. And that's the kind of the curse of trying to be out there in front and leading with information.
Mm-hmm.
There's always it's always subject to change, right? And I think hopefully you guys will look back and try to be as evergreen as I could about saying by the end of Q4. Well, guess what? The end of Q4 is right around the corner, and it doesn't look like we're going to hit that. That's not for a lack of trying, right, Kylie?
Not at all.
But so right now we're probably looking, first month or two of the new year. I hate to even throw a date out again because when it misses, you're judged by that. But that's the best timeline that we have in front of us right now. I do want to share that. I want you guys to know there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. We're still working toward it. It's not like something's changed and we're not doing it anymore and we just haven't told you. That's not true.
And I'll just throw in there, if it feels like it's been a process for you waiting for the news, I can tell you from our C team here working to get there. Yeah. I mean, it's exhausting.
It is. But, we're going to get there. We're all going to have fun. And when we do, I hope they're all going to come to New York with us.
Yes, that will be very exciting. And we're going to continue to elevate the excitement, and we're still planning what we can plan. It's hard for us too because we don't even know how to plan what, but we are going to. It's going to be great, and we do want everybody who can be there to be there. We're working on the swag designs and stuff, which leads me to another fun part is I want to thank everybody for sending in your answers to the survey that we emailed out and for all the bios and your passion behind why you invested. And your photos. We've started the Investor Spotlight campaign, and as promised, we're going to be doing the raffle soon for our swag gear.
She can't wait to do the bingo.
I know, I should have brought it in here.
You should have. What the heck? Well,
It's right
stay tuned. That'll be next time, guys. We'll show that next time.
But we are going to do that pretty soon. It's been so busy that we're trying to make sure we have time to let everybody know when, and we'll be doing a Facebook Live and do the raffle.
Maybe when this airs, you can put in the shirt.
There you go.
Right?
Yes.
Pop in the little shirt and maybe even show the raffle thing, the bingo thing, right?
We got to pick a date for this Facebook Live. Okay. I'm thinking next week is looking good.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah.
Anything else that you want to say?
No, when we do figure out the date, we're going to give you as much notice as we can. Just to give you a fun fact on our side, the survey that you put out, Kylie, about as we go public, do you want to join? Do you not want to join, or would you maybe join? I think we're running 50% say yes. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a hard yes, so we like that. 20% no, and maybe 30% maybe. So maybe we could get up to 80% of our investors to show up in New York. Yeah. Wouldn't that be amazing?
It really would.
That would be amazing, guys, if we could do that.
Yeah, as many as possible. We would love it.
We're going to have a big party planned, a lot of fun. Everybody, we're going to give you all a bunch of swag. Yep. We want everybody to think it's St. Patrick's Day.
We want to
you're wearing your bright green, right? So that'll be awesome, right?
Yeah, and when the time comes, just prepare. We will want to get some RSVPs eventually to know how many we should plan for. But just keep thinking about it and know that we will. We're already in the works of knowing how to scramble at the last minute to make sure it's as cool as possible.
That's us. Cool, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. Do you have anything else you want to bring up?
We have some fun stuff in the pipeline just with information on our website. We've got like some neat blogs that have started with some more information about our impact and how we feel like what we're doing is the future of logistics. I just did one on healthcare and chain of custody, and gonna keep on cranking out some good content.
What about those spotlights of our investors?
Yeah. There's another one going up today.
Okay, great.
And so we'll have our next round of 3 or 4 people who will be spotlighting.
Yeah, check it out. You might see yourself. That's pretty cool, right?
Yep. Follow us on our social channels and get ready for the raffle.
There you go.
Been working on the t-shirt designs.
Awesome. Hey guys, anytime we're here, and just keep the faith, okay? We're going to get this done. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
And for anybody who didn't fill out the survey and would like to, we're going to put a link to it with this video.
Okay, perfect.
On whatever platform it's on, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, it'll be in the caption of this video. So if you see it, click on it, send it in, and you can enter to win some fun swag.
Awesome. Thanks,
right.
Kylie.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Dan.
it. Thanks, guys. See you all soon.